Hello, guys. Welcome to Rex Arthur TV. This is the Rex Arthur Show where we discuss LGBTQ issues with an LGBTQ approach, LGBTQ perspective in an LGBTQ plus planet where each and every one of us belongs to one or two letters in the LGBTQ, the sexual 10-letter sexual alphabet LGBTQIAAP. And today we want to wax philosophical and rivers of thought, lava of fikir. And before we do that, we want to offer our condolences to the people who lost their lives in the Ethiopian airline crash that happened on Sunday. Deep condolences. It was a very sad way of dying, but that's the reality of life. It's the sad reality of life. We have to understand that human nature, we are prone to die. All of us, we have a day to die, and we do not know that day. Yes, nobody knows the day to die. I can even collapse now. You're joking with life. Yes, it can happen anytime. And so we say sorry, but they are okay. What I mean by being okay, it's very hard to explain to people. Sometimes you wonder. Every time there's a big death event, you always think about life and life after death. But I believe there is life after death somewhere. Yeah, it's not hell. It's not hell. There's no hell. Yes, it's just we just go to another world. Yes, that's what I believe. So condolences. Now let's go back to what we were discussing, and we are going to talk about human nature, and that is when it comes to control. We love power. One thing you need to know about humans, we are very power driven. We love control, and in biology, another thing that has happened, sexuality has been changed. Contrary, gender studies has been changed. Yes, because contrary to normal thought, where people believed a man is a person with an external organ called a penis and a woman is a person with an external organ called a vagina, we have discovered that there are men who have more estrogen than some women and women who have more testosterone than some men. So that makes those women men and makes the men women. So gender studies has been thrown. Is confusion everywhere. In fact, if you want to go to universities, the picture of universities in the world is confusion. Yes, it's because old theories have been discarded by the new theories. And we're going to do a video in the theological channel about the new wine. Yes, there is new wine. A lot of new wine has been poured into the old wineskins, and the old wineskins can't handle it. So that's what's happening all over the world. So if you're in academia, just know there's a lot of chaos because what I'm trying to say is, you see, men most men are naturally competitive, but not all men are competitive. Yes. And women are naturally submissive, but not every woman. In fact, a large number, sizable number of women are not submissive. Um, and there are women who are soft and women who are hard, and there are men who are soft and men who are hard, and there are some who are neutered. Yes. So that science has transformed everything we are discussing about. Everything. About sex, about relationships, about personalities. They have all changed. And it's an exciting time to be alive. I am so happy to have discovered very many things at this time. It has changed me. I used to blog 10 years ago. I was blogging very much, and I'm shocked. The positions I used to hold 10 years ago have changed. I don't hold them anymore. And it's because of the new wine. I'm drinking so much new wine. It's even changing my understanding of very many things. And this is what has happened to very many people, even those who don't want to accept the new wine. It's the reality. So, now why was I talking about the hormonal aspect of life? Is because the power aspect is very testosteronic. Yes, testosterone is the one that makes us look for power. And if you study hormones, estrogen is the one that makes you very caring. That's why mothers have a lot of estrogen. And even some men tend to be motherly. It's because they have a lot of estrogen. And women who are very competitive in the business, in politics, they have a lot of testosterone. Yes, look at Hillary Clinton. She has been in politics for years. That's a symbol of a testosteronic woman, a woman who is high on testosterone. And which other woman? There are very many women who are big. Oprah is rich, a woman with testosterone. She's very high on testosterone. So because they have succeeded in a man's world, or this is not a man's world, it's a human's world. Forgive me. It's a human's world. But what I mean by man's world is a space where a man's world is a space where men are the majority players. And a woman's world is a space where women are the majority players. So when I say a man's world, I'm talking about politics. It's a man's world because majority of the politicians are male. And when I talk about military, it's a man's world because majority of the players are male. When I talk about economics or finance and business, it is a man's world because majority of the businessmen are men. Just look at the Forbes list. How many women? You can even count. You can count the number of women. So when it comes to money, it's a man's world. But when it comes to things to do like where do women dominate? Like when it comes to fashion, yes, fashion, your fashion, what do they call it? These models, you're a fashion model. It's a woman's world. When you're there, even if you're a man working there, taking care of the ladies who are walking on the runway, you will be in a feminine space. There'll be a lot of feminine air, a lot of femme spirits in the atmosphere. It's because majority of the players are women. So those are the spaces that belong to women. Then when you count every space, you notice men have more spaces than women. That's why the feminist movement is there. It is to try and create a balance. However, it's very hard to do that because, for one thing, some of the male spaces they demand a lot of testosterone, which is not found in high levels in women. Yes, there are some women who work in the construction industry, but it doesn't mean there are not many because the other women don't find it a very good place to work in. So because of that, it still remains a male industry. So, but as time goes on, with the LGBTQ movement, we are having trans men coming out. we're having trans women coming out, and we're having bisexual women and bisexual men coming out. They will come out, and most of these spaces will become very balanced. So basically, I was just trying to say testosterone is the main driver. That's where people become powerful, and the power is drawn uh, from that hormone. This is what makes men aggressive. This is what makes men fight. Even in the animal kingdom, when you have testosterone, the animals that have testosterone, have you noticed they have horns? Yes, they have horns. Elephants, the longer and harder the ivory, the more testosterone. Bulls have horns. And if you see a cow having a horn, it's a sign of testosterone. A female cow, it's a sign of testosterone. It's like beards. If you find, remember that lady in London, in England, she has beards. She's not a lesbian. She's a, she just has beards. Yeah, very many beards, more than mine. And it's because of testosterone in her blood. And testosterone makes you very competitive. And you have the desire to control people. You see, that's why, back to the feminist theory of patriarchy and all of that, they attack patriarchy, but it's not a very good. Um, I'm no longer in the fighting of patriarchy. I believe in uniting, because the patriarchy, the institution of patriarchy, is very biological. That's what people need to understand. That ideologies, as I told the other lady in the other video, ideology is biological. All right. So ideology is biological. Yes, that is what you need to understand. And that's why we succeed with the hormonal ideology, the hormonal science. And that's how we need to understand our human nature. It's like that. Men are like that, and women. So ideology is biological. So patriarchy was built based on the male biology. That's what you need to understand. Patriarchy, it's not men sitting down and saying we are going to be a patriarchy. No. It was because of the biological nature of a man. A man is strong, he's a fighter, he has more muscle, he's bigger. So that biological prowess created patriarchy, because who was going to fight the enemy? It was the man. Especially in very many organized societies. Then secondly, biologically, men do not carry babies. So it's easier for them to fight, because, you know, in the primitive societies, they were so warrior. So they were always going to war every year. It was yearly. And because they don't carry they don't carry babies, they can impregnate and go back to fight. And that's what used to happen in the primitive societies. So that constant cycle of wars and building, it created patriarchy. A system was created whereby men were now ruling women, because women had something called a womb, and they would carry babies. You can't send a pregnant woman to the battlefield. It's madness. It's madness. Which army have you seen that they only want pregnant women? Can never happen. So it's biology. That's what we explain to feminists out there, that the reason of fighting patriarchy is that really you're dealing with biology which you can't really fight. And so what I was trying to show is testosterone is a control, is a leadership, is a power hormone. And now, thanks to technology and science, a woman can get more testosterone. Yes, you can get your testosterone shot if you need it to become very aggressive. Yes, it's okay. It's not bad. If you feel like you need more testosterone, get it. If you feel like you need more estrogen, please go and get it. I'm a liberal guy. I don't I my philosophy these days is do what you want. Do it. You want to go there, go do it. If you want to do this, if you want to get plastic surgery, please do it. No one should stop you. As long as you have the money and you have the means, do it. That's what you want to do. And so that's what I'm saying. If you want to get testosterone, you're a woman and you feel like, no, I need more drive. I need more drive. Go and get your testosterone shot. Go to the gym. Do a lot of activity. Get engaged and go and tell those men what you feel. Yes, that's how you win in a man's world. There are many worlds in this world. There's a man's world, there's a woman's world, there's a neutral world whereby it doesn't matter what sex you are. Yes, it's just as long as you do what is there, and that is in the spiritual world. In the spiritual and the philosophical, psychological world, it has nothing to do with your sex. What is your sex in the dream? Have you ever asked yourself? I'm joking anyway. So that's what you need to understand. Yes, you can dream to be a woman. And what is that? So who is that? So anyway, so testosterone is very good for power. Now, I'm talking now. I was trying to show you how leadership and rules and how people make laws. You see, it ended up because of this biological prowess by men. Men were the ones making the rules. So look at Moses. Was it a woman who made the law? No, it was Moses, a man. Hammurabi, a man. All of these legal founders, Jesus, a man. Muhammad, a man. All. So it is that testosterone drive. Men it makes you leadership. So you want to make rules. You make rules. You organize society. And as I've told, it's because of the biological uniqueness of a man. A man doesn't have a womb, so he doesn't have a lot of pressure to think about carrying a baby. Because a woman, imagine now she has a baby. That's the first child. The child is born. She has to breastfeed the child. Then after that, she has to take care of the husband. I'm looking at the patriarchal home. Take care of the husband, take care of the kids, and then that's the first baby. Then the second year, she gets another baby. The other one is still breastfeeding. The other one is here breastfeeding. The husband needs to eat. So you see, in such a patriarchal setting, the woman does so much that she cannot get involved in war, which the man gets involved in. So the man goes to politics, he goes to business, all of those are war zones. Then he goes to the even real war. Reason? Not that he can't take care. He doesn't have very much responsibilities like a woman, especially a woman who is married or pregnant. Yes. So that's what you need to understand. So because of that freedom, men have the time to organize society. That's why majority of the philosophers were male. Majority of the politicians were male. That's why America had founding fathers, not founding mothers. It's because they were they had time to organize society because of biology. Now, again, because of biology, the feminist movement is rising because there are women who don't necessarily need to live with a man. Yes, lesbians don't need a man. And then there are even women, they are straight and they are single. They don't need a man. They know how to. And why has this happened? It's because women went to school. And when they went to school, they were taught to organize themselves, just like men were organizing themselves. They were taught organization. They were taught rules. They were taught all of these things. So what happened? Women also now learned how to organize stuff, but they've learned it a bit late in time, but they are rising nonetheless. And in some countries, even more women are PhD educated. They are going to become more PhD. There will be more women PhD holders than men in the near future. And reason being, because men have there's a way they are tired. Maybe it seems like there's a collective fatigue, and they are tired of leading. They are tired of organizing society. They have seen it is a problem. So now women are kind of excited because they are new to it. And this is what happened to even in the races. It's so beautiful. Even in the races, whites are so they have fatigue. Come on, these guys have been building for 1,000 years. Of course they are tired. They don't know it. You know, there's what you call collective zeitgeist, the spirit of a people. Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist means the spirit of the people, the collective spirit. So every race has its zeitgeist, and some races have, as I've told you, they go through fatigue because they have done the same thing over and over again, over and over again. That's what's happening in the West. That's why you're seeing them. They just feel like they're tired. They've worked and worked and worked. They've been building things for thousands of years. But in a place like Africa, there's excitement because they have now started becoming Western. Look at China. Too excited. Too excited. They have even passed Africa. And they were in the same level with Africa. Asia was with Africa. And they have passed because the excitement is so high. Let's build. We are building like the West. And they'll also get to fatigue. Yes. They'll get a time they get tired. So it is, Africa is yet to take off. The moment it will start, oh my God, you will like Africa because there'll be excitement. People are building. We are building. We're building skyscrapers. We are building roads. We are building. America is already built. Europe is already built. In fact, now their problem is maintenance. Yes, that's their problem. But for Africa, it's the time to build. Go to a country like Chad. It is so empty of skyscrapers. So empty. And even I always say, the reason why Africa is empty of skyscrapers, it's lack of money. Africa just doesn't have money. It has people, but it has no money. Yes. When it has money, oh my goodness, the continent will be transformed. Everything. That's what Solomon said. Money is the answer to everything. This is why I put Andrew Yang on my channel, because I like him. He's giving people money. He has answered everyone's problem. Answered. Everybody needs money. That is the answer. It's not anything, it's money. That's the answer. Does manna fall from heaven? It doesn't. Get it from the government. And that's what Andrew Yang is promising, the universal basic income. So anyway, this was supposed to be a philosophical, and we're still talking. It's philosophical, so that's why I can talk of many things. So when women now went to university and studied, they learned how to make rules and to organize and to lead. That's why there's a lot of battles in homes and marriages, is because women have also read. And in the past, women were not reading. Yes. Even in Africa, women were not. It's only recently women are now reading, because of the colonial system and also the African setup, So now that they are reading, they are also becoming leaders. That's why there are women who, they feel like, I don't need a man. Yeah, it's okay. She knows how to lead herself, because what she wanted is vision. If she can have vision, then she doesn't need anybody to give her vision. Same to lesbians. Lesbians are women who want to stay with women. It's okay. Go on. Just the same as gay men. So the world has changed. We are no longer living in the Little House on the Prairie, Mary Poppins. That is gone. That's not life. Today's life is the lesbian life, the gay life, the bisexual life, the transgender life, the pansexual life, the queer life. That is life today. Yes, that is the life. That's where we are. We're in that life. And so Mary Poppins lifestyle is gone. Little House on the Prairie, bye-bye. It's gone. The conservative home, gone. Because women now are reading. Gays are reading. Bisexuals are reading. Do you see what happened in America? The midterm election. The most important thing, showing you something. America has changed. No need to change the constitution. It has already changed. LGBTQ members in the house are too many. Women, so many. Is changed. That resolution that passed to stop racism and homophobia and Islamophobia could not have passed 50 years ago. That's the miracle of that text. I love it so much, it will be on PDF. I keep on reading it. And it should be taught in schools. Yes, that's the change that has happened. It happened because the Congress is diverse. It happened because there are gays in the Congress. It happened because there are lesbians in the Congress. It happened because the bisexuals are in the Congress. It happened because transgenders are in the Congress. It happened because blacks are in the Congress. It happened because Native Americans are in the Congress. It happened because Muslims are in the Congress. This is 2019 America. So different from 1779 America, 1776 America. Go and look at the list of the founding fathers. No woman. Now go and look at the list that made the resolution. There's a woman, there are women, there are gays, there are lesbians, there are Muslims, there are Christians. Yes, that's the change. It has happened. Hallelujah. So, um, so that's what's happening in the whole world. The American Congress is the picture of the world. That's what has happened. In the past, it was only men making rules. And in America, it was only white men making the rules. Now, everybody is making rules. And it's because we have all gone to school. And now the problem we have with this new system is everybody is now control freak. They want to control everybody. Because if you're not careful, when you are in the rule making set mindset, you will always want to tell somebody, I want you to do it like this. Do it like this. Yeah, you're not doing it well. I want you to keep on. When you're with me, this is what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen? People are going to live alone. Singlehood is coming. That's my prediction. Because people won't learn how to live with each other because everybody is making their own rules. Yes, it's heaven on earth. Did you see Jesus? What did he say? I'm going to build for you mansions. Everybody, you are going to have your mansion. You're not going to stay with your family. There is no family house in heaven. Yes, there's absolutely no family house in heaven. Why? You will now be an official God. Yes, you will do what you want. You will fly to any universe. Go to any universe. You have your house in heaven. Yours. No marriage. Yes, there will be no marriage. That's what Jesus said. At least for Jesus. Muhammad said there are virgins for you. So sex is still going to happen in the Islamic heaven. Who knows? Maybe every religion has its heaven. So Christians have theirs, Muslims have theirs, and even atheists have their heaven. Yes, who knows? We don't know. And you can concoct anything and say that everyone, whatever you believe, you go to your heaven. So create it here on earth. Think about it here on earth, then you'll go to that heaven. Like me, the one I want a gay heaven. I want to go to a gay heaven. Yes, I will tell God, please put the best, the most sexy men in my presence forever. And we have fun forever. Yes, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell him. I'm prepared. I'm so happy. Yes, that's why I laugh. It's because now I know life. I know life. And I know what I want in life. So yes, so that's I'm going to go to the gay heaven. It's there. And you drink and you have fun, you have sex, you do it all over, and you know you won't have a human body. You have a free body. And any man you see says yes. It will be heaven. Yes. Any man you see says yes. And you say yes to every man in that gay heaven. Yeah, and you enjoy it. So, who knows? There could be heavens for everybody. Yeah, even there's a lesbian heaven. Bisexual. Yes, it's glorious. So, everybody's now a control freak. So, everybody wants to control everybody. So, they tell you, no, you do it this way, this way, this way. It's because now we are all organizers. In the past, people need to appreciate time. There's a lesbian friend of mine who told me something, and I liked that statement. People don't have a sense of time. I loved that concept. Sense of time. And that is the biggest problem we have with humans. Majority of humans don't have a sense of time. You see, when you have a sense of time, you will nothing will scare you. Yes. Have a sense of time. Nothing will scare you. because you know there's a time for everything. That's, in fact, that understanding is Solomonic wisdom. Yes, King Solomon said, there is a time for everything. 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 Just think about it. Everything has a time. So that's what you need to know about life. There's a time to die. Each and every one of us has our time to die. There's a time to work. You see, today, what is today? Is to time. Because day is time. Night is time. Day is time. Everything is timed. Everything is timed. Videos are timed. So, what I liked about that statement is because of that, people don't have a sense of time. So they don't understand things because they don't understand the time. Again, back to the Bible, the sons of Issachar, the tribe of Issachar, was loved because they understood the times. It's very important to know the times. So I think the sons of Issachar were the time, the calendar. They knew this is the time famine is coming. This is the time there will be harvest. Not harvest, rain. You know, where you need prediction, you don't need prediction in, you need prediction in weather. Yeah, in the stars, in the meteorology. Meteorology is the study, even I don't know why they call it meteorology. It is a mistake. Because meteors are falling stars, so I don't know what they are studying when they say meteorology. We have to discuss that in the theological channel. So meteorology is the study of the weather, and sometimes you need time people who are time conscious to tell you this one is a sign of this. Like, see, climate change, we have realized it because of time conscious scientists. They studied the pattern of the weather and they noticed something. There's something dangerous happening. The earth is getting warmer. It's global warming. So that's what you need to understand. And that's where we are. So because everybody wants to be is a control freak, because everybody can organize their life, it becomes very hard for you to stay with somebody who doesn't have your type of organization. This is why democracy has changed. Yes, democracy has now gone back to man solo democracy. What I mean by man solo democracy, it is your idea that is presented and then people vote for the best idea. That's where we have come. That's now democracy. The best idea is voted for, not the best party. You know, in the other democracies or the current democracies, if your party has the most seats in the parliament, whatever, you can even pass the worst law, it will pass because of your party. However, that is not an accurate statement because of one thing. You see, for every general rule, there's an exception. There are some exceptions whereby, even though you have a large number of members, they may not vote the law to pass. And if that happens, then that means there's a problem with your party. Because naturally, a party is supposed to have loyal people to the party's policies, so that even when a law is passed, it passes. it passes. That's why you make sure you have the most seats. You see, Europe is chaos because Angela Merkel won 33%. That is not even a majority. It's disaster. They are just sharing. Everybody. It's a disaster, yet it's not a disaster because it's very democratic. Yes, it's more man solo because the other party has 33%, the other one has 22%, the other one has 19%, the other one has 14%, the other one has 11%, the other one has 9%. So when you add those percentages, it adds to 100%. So there are very many pocketed parties, minority parties, because in Germany there is no party that has a majority. They are all minorities. So maybe the advantage of that system is you will listen to an idea, and if the idea is good, you'll vote for it. So yeah, okay. But that's my what I'm seeing happening in the democratic world. So basically, those are my thoughts today. I was thinking about control. You know, when you're with people, people tell you, I want you to be like this, I want you to be like, and I'm like, excuse me, you know, you have to understand something. People live their lives. Yes, you can't be a control freak on someone who can control their life and organize their life. Yes, and I've already explained to you why there's a lot of chaos and conflict. It's because everybody can organize. At least those who have gone to school. Yes, because when you've gone to school, you have the ability to make rules. Yes, you have the ability because you live in a society. You know, the school setting is a rule based setting. So you are forced to keep the rules. And that way you are programmed to know how to live under rules. That's what people need to understand. And when you do that, now when you leave school, you don't follow the, the school rules at home. No. You organize your life just the same way as it was organized in school, but now it is you who is the headmaster. Yes, you are the headmaster, you're the principal, so you're making rules for your life. And you say, like, for me, every Wednesday I go to the club. That's a rule. For me, every Saturday I go for prayers. I keep the Sabbath. That's a rule. For me, I do whatever I want. That's a rule. Yes, it's a rule. So now the problem comes when you live with very many people and they have their own rules. You see, so that's where you become. There can be conflicts. It's because your rules are not my rules, and even this can even happen in a couple. Yes, that's why relationships. Do you see there are very many breakups? Yes, there are many divorces. It's because people have their own philosophy. When you get married or united to somebody, it doesn't really mean your philosophy, you are marrying your philosophies. That's the problem we are having today in the so called marriage relationship world. As I've told you, there are very many worlds. There's a world, single world, there's the married world, there's the dating world. So all of these worlds have their laws and rules and phenomena. So the so you get this guy, you start dating him, and you notice why do people date, so that they can see, are we compatible, can we live in the same house together and have the same rules, and do we do the same things together. That's it's an understanding you're trying to make. So when you notice that your rules are not compatible to each other, you can't stay together. I mean, it's so easy to even cancel some couples thanks to AI. Outcome based knowledge is what we're having. people, you can predict what is going to happen just by looking at the philosophies that are trying to unite. They are totally different. Totally different philosophies. There is no common bond. That's why when you are to be with someone, you have to have a bond with them. Yes. Agreement. This is why the United Nations is the way it is. You see, United Nations is a body of sovereign nations which have different rules, but they come together and they vote for a common resolution. So that's what you need to know what UN is. UN is a body of controllers that have agreed to control themselves. So that's because look at Saudi Arabia. Imagine Saudi Arabia is in the UN together with Denmark. Two different countries. Two different countries. One is homophobic, one is gay friendly, and they are together. It's a madness. But it's the reality. Yes, it's the reality. And the world is waiting for Saudi Arabia to change. Yes. And become gay friendly. But if you're a Saudi Arabian and you are not happy with the homophobia, you should be given a chance to leave the country and go to Denmark and live your gay life. That's why now very many LGBTQ, there's a need to create many LGBTQ organizations that allow immigration and migration to gay friendly countries, so that a country that is not changing, yeah, it's not changing from its homophobic stance, it can that you can leave that country. And I'm talking about the poor. You know, the rich people can leave a country anytime. They have the money. Yes, they have a bank account. They just go and show it. They're gone and go and live in it. But the poor are the ones who don't. They need the chance to travel, especially if you're LGBTQ and you're poor. You can't travel. It's madness. How will you even get a ticket? You see, like Syria, what happened in Syria? The rich Syrians flew out of Syria. The poor, the ones you're seeing on TV in camps, those are poor ones. They don't even have passports. See how the system is so messed up? Because money is everything. If you don't have money, you have nothing. And that's what happens to those Syrian refugees. They are there in camps, suffering because they have no passport. They can't buy an air ticket. So those are the problems we're having in the world. I mean, if I was UN, I would have free aircraft, 100 ready, standby for anybody who wants to leave their country. They just go, apply, I want to leave my country for this reason. The UN aircraft says, yes, put this one. Free of charge. He's poor. And you take him to that country. That is my system. I know it's not the system of other people. And as I've told you, we are all control freaks. So each of us has our system that we want the world to follow. Now, when you get to power, like when you become a president or a king, you have an advantage to put your system in place. That's what you need to understand. That's the advantage of winning an election, is that you have the power to put your control program, how the country should go. You see what Trump is doing? He doesn't want transgenders in the army. It's not right. I mean, Why doesn't he want transgenders? There's no sense. Because a trans woman is going to stay in the women's quarters. Let him tell us what's his problem. Yes, let him tell us what is his problem. Is his problem that trans women are supposed to sleep with the women and some of them he thinks they are men, so they shouldn't be there? He should tell us. How I'll do it, even change, things are going to change because of sexuality. In the military, have quotas whereby transgenders can stay alone. They can have their cubicles. They don't have to mix with anybody. And if they want to mix with anyone, they will mix when they are eating and when they're doing the other things. And then the men and women, they continue having their quarters. Then you can have a trans women's camp. Yes. And a trans men's quarter in the army. And you're done. What I'm trying to say to people like Trump, transgenders have a purpose. Yes, they have a purpose. It's just that they are so transient. They are so trans. Everything you know in every English word you know in trans is a transgender. Yes, they're so transient. They transform. Because of that, they are not understood very well. Because you see, society loves status quo. Yes, they don't like changes. Transgenders are very change. They are personalities of change. Today they will do this. I want to dress. I want to be a woman, and I'm gonna show the world that there's no one greater than me. Then a few months, where's my dick? I need it back. Yes, that's a transgender. It's very natural. They are like the weather. The weather. You see, the weather changes. That's a transgender. Other gays and who else? Gays and lesbians, in my view, in my estimation, and bisexuals, they tend to be free people. I mean, they tend to be focused. They stay, you're gay, that's me. I don't need anything. I'm lesbian. Don't give me another story. So they tend to be cut out. Even straight people, they are cut out. I'm straight. But a transgender, always wavy. So maybe I think that's what's going on Trump. He doesn't want to put them in the army. But they are very important. It's very good to have a transgender in the army because of what's it called? The fact that when you have someone who is wavy, they are very good in intelligence. Yes, because they are like this, they are like that, they are like that. They can even go and change their makeup. In fact, the natural transgenders are even the best because they can be a woman and a man at the same time. So when they go to the office, excuse me, we called to say this. Just someone would think he's a man talking, and it's a trans. And then the same transgender changes. So that's the that. If I was an army general, oh my goodness, I will use it. So I don't know what is wrong with Trump. It's ignorance. Yes, it's ignorance. He's supposed to allow everybody who wants to serve in the military, even a Muslim. Do you know that's a dangerous thing I'm fearing? I'm fearing Trump may even not allow Muslims to serve in the army. That's dangerous. Your service in the army is because you are American, not because you are straight or you're a Christian. That's wrong. You are serving because you are American. Because Trump doesn't know that war can happen and the whole army is destroyed. It's only transgenders left. Will they say they won't fight? They will fight. They will fight. That's the rationale. behind hiring everybody in the army. Even women are hired because all the men can die. So will the women say, because we were not in the army, we will not fight? That's the end of America. Yes. The secret of a strong army is it has everybody in it. From every corner, poor, rich, bisexual, transgender, gay, everybody. That's the secret of a good army, because it has covered every area. So when the army goes to another area, when a transgender goes, they go and gather intelligence. They're the best. They are Trojan horses. You see the Trojan horse? The Trojan horse carried soldiers in their horse. Soldiers were in the horse. When it went to the kingdom, they were so happy. They said, wow, a gift has come. I won't forget Steven Spielberg's cartoon as we conclude the video. And what he did, he also did the Trojan horse idea. But you know, they didn't put a soldier, they put a man who was singing. And when the horse was open, that country just said, oh, it's a man. What does he want to do? And the man just started singing. He was singing very low sound, and that sound can put you to sleep very well. So the whole city fell asleep and they got what they wanted. So you see, that's a transgender. A transgender is a Trojan horse. You look at them, you think you're talking to a woman, but they have because they were assigned their sex at child, because they are assigned that they can switch, you see. And then even if you have a transgender, even if you have a trans woman, she's just a trans woman. Yeah, let her be her woman. She knows how to do her stuff. So she's not necessarily that she's switching, because they are transgenders who switch. You see, there's a diversity of transgenders, there's a diversity of gays, there's a diversity of bisexuals, there's a diversity of lesbians, there's a diversity of queer people. You see, for me, I'm a gay nerd. I like talking, reading, and writing. That's me. That's how I grew up. Yes, I grew up like that. Over 20 years of reading and talking. Yes, I loved talking and analyzing. I was always with people who talk about politics. That was me, and that is me. 20 years. There's nothing I'm doing now that I was not doing 20 years ago. That was me. That is me. So, but there are other gay men who are not like me. They are so different, you know. They love partying. Yes, it's very understandable. I also party, but if you my party is different. I just invite you, do what you want, drink what you want. It's time to go home. All right, good. Thanks for coming. Yeah, that's the end of my party. So people are different, and so even with transgenders, in fact, transgenders is even worse, because you can have a transgender who switches. Argentina has done very well. They have allowed transgenders to change their ID as many times as they want. Beautiful. That's a country that knows a transgender. They are changing their IDs as many times as they want. Today you are Linda, tomorrow I'm Louis. The next day I want to be Lavar, and then the other day I'm Lamar. Then now I want to be Lucinda, and then the other day I'm Luke. And then you see, yes, that's a transgender. And a government has to be prepared to live with such people. Because if you don't know how to live with them, you will kill them. You see, people who can't, you see, that's why I'm saying Trump's action is very wrong, because it means he is he's saying we can even put you in prison. Transphobia, homophobia, very dangerous. Racism, Islamophobia, very dangerous, because if you tell someone you cannot be part of something, you're telling them you are a threat. And you're taking steps to Nazism. A few steps, then finally you say, kill. That's what Hitler did. He told the gays and Jews, you guys, you're subhuman. You're not normal. And the Jews just stayed there. And the gays stayed. He kept on saying, subhumans. Then finally, finish them. They are not going. Because you see, they thought they were going when he told them they would be subhumans, that they were subhumans. Then they did the Kristallnacht. You study Nazi history. It was very systematic. They really wanted them out. And when they couldn't get, they said, now enough, we are finishing them. Even look at what's happening in the Methodist Church. Yeah. The LGBTQ community has decided to stay. My goodness. Personally, they should have started their own church. I know it's okay to stay, but how will you stay in such a caustic environment? Anyway, I want them to stay so that they can teach the African church about LGBTQ rights. So maybe that's why they are staying. And but my solution to them was form another Methodist church that is LGBTQ affirming. Yeah, that's my solution. But what they have decided to do is also not bad. It's very good. It's what you call patience. They are able to be patient with the African church, and they're telling them, hey, we're not leaving you because the church of God is one, and we will stay with you guys until you come to your senses to understand that gay people can serve God even alongside straight people. So their strategy could work. It's diversity of strategy. Yes, because my strategy is different. Mine is have your own space, create your own liturgy, write your own books of service, your own theological books, get a theological seminary for LGBTQ pastors, train them there, get land, get money, and leave them. They don't want to stay with you. That's my strategy. But their strategy, which can also succeed much as mine can, is stay in the church, teach them. Every time we have a conference, a synod, tell them the truth, tell them that Jesus loves us, and show them that we're going on. That's what they have done, the LGBTQ clergy in the Methodist Church. It's a strategy. I respect it. And mine is also a strategy. So there's diversity of strategy. All right, guys. So let's finish. So basically, that's control. And we are control freaks by nature. Understand your nature. First of all, read human nature. Read psychology. It will teach you a lot about yourself. And yes, that's how life is. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It was just a philosophical discussion about control. And we all love controlling people. And you have to control yourself. The best way is don't really give people suggestions. Yeah, but don't be so commanding on them. But give them suggestions. And let your suggestion sell. Let it look so beautiful. And who knows, someone will pick it up. Like for me, I had my gay pastor Facebook account. And a friend of mine just talked to me and just said, I think, I don't know, I don't think that title is going to work. And I said, okay, it's not that I want it. I know why I've put it. It's a shouting title that will make someone be my friend because they'll wonder, wow, a gay pastor? Oh my God, who is that? So, but I looked at his reasoning and I said, okay, let me try it. So I changed it. I now call it Aquarian Pastor. And then the gay pastor is in brackets. Yeah, and I said, yeah, that's good because I believe and I'm an Aquarian. And to be an Aquarian is to be scientific first, then you can be religious afterwards. To be Piscean is to be religious first, and then to be scientific. But that's not how it works. It works when you put science first. You remember that song, Put God First? No, now it's put science first because God is science. And that's what I stand for. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining.